They learn this before they know why. These patterns don't arrive as lessons. They arrive as entertainment, as repetition, as comfort. And comfort is one of the most effective teaching tools ever invented. Disney did not begin as a company that made stories. It became a company that shaped expectations. What fear should look like, how long sadness is allowed to last, when relief is guaranteed. For decades, this conditioning happened so gradually that it felt personal, like taste, like nostalgia, like choice. In 2023, Disney generated over $88 billion in revenue. Not from a single product, not from a single audience, from a network designed to loop attention, memory, and spending back into itself. Films feed merchandise, merchandise feeds parks, parks feed loyalty, loyalty feeds repeat viewing. A character does not earn once, it earns everywhere. A ticket, a toy, a lunchbox, a ride, a costume, a streaming thumbnail, a childhood memory. Memory is the most durable asset Disney owns. No other company has built a system where imagination regenerates on demand. But this system did not begin with wonder. It began with anxiety. Walt Disney did not start with security, he started with debt, deadlines, and humiliation. In the early 1920s, Disney was producing animated shorts for Universal. The character was Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. Oswald worked, he sold, he circulated, he was valuable, and he did not belong to Disney. When Walt attempted to renegotiate, he discovered something too late. Universal owned the character. The distributor owned the leverage, and most of his animators had already been offered higher pay to stay behind. Walt returned to California without his creation, without his staff, and without a future he could control. That moment didn't just hurt financially, it reshaped his thinking. From then on, characters were never just drawings. They were assets. Mickey Mouse was built with ownership in mind. Simple curves, a recognizable silhouette, a face that could be stamped, printed, reproduced endlessly. By 1930, Mickey appeared on watches, notebooks, toys, and advertisements. This was before Disney had proven animation could survive as cinema. Merchandise came first, the mythology followed. Disney learned early that characters behave like land. Once owned, they can be licensed, subdivided, and extracted indefinitely. When Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs premiered in 1937, Hollywood expected collapse. A feature-length animated film sounded exhausting, risky, unmarketable. Snow White became a phenomenon. Adjusted for inflation, it earned over $1.8 billion. But the deeper impact was structural. Audiences proved trainable. Disney formalized emotional timing, fear precisely measured, loss carefully framed, relief always scheduled. The darker elements of fairy tales weren't erased, they were reorganized. Danger was shortened, safety was guaranteed, resolution was inevitable. This created reliability, and reliability allows scale. Behind the scenes, the studio itself was far from harmonious. During the production of Snow White and later Pinocchio and Fantasia, artists worked extreme hours under tight control. In 1941, animators went on strike. They protested wages, credit, and creative authority. Walt Disney saw it as betrayal. The strike fractured the studio and permanently altered Disney's relationship with labor. Trust was never fully restored. Fantasia, released in 1940, nearly bankrupted the company. Its technical ambition outpaced the market. World War II cut off European revenue streams. The studio survived by producing military training films and propaganda. The magic never disappeared, but it was repurposed. When Disneyland opened in 1955, it wasn't sold as entertainment. It was sold as reassurance, a place where parents could feel safe letting go. Every detail was engineered. Sightlines guided movement, music shifted emotional tone by zone, trash cans appeared every 30 steps to eliminate disorder. Even decay was curated. Nothing accidental was allowed to remain visible. The park demonstrated something crucial. People behave differently inside spaces that feel permanent. Permanence produces belief. Disneyland wasn't an escape, it was a rehearsal, a physical model of how narrative, labor, architecture, and emotion operate when unified. Walt Disney died in 1966. The company stalled, then expanded, because the blueprint already existed. Ownership first, distribution second, emotion engineered to follow. In later decades, Disney faced repeated controversies, accusations of cultural erasure, racial caricatures locked away rather than addressed, stories softened to avoid discomfort rather than confrontation. The infamous Vault strategy restricted access to films to manufacture scarcity. Availability was controlled, memory was regulated. In the 2000s, Disney stopped creating myths from scratch. It began purchasing pre-belief. Pixar delivered technological storytelling. Marvel delivered serialized loyalty. Lucasfilm delivered generational inheritance. Each came with an audience already trained to care. Disney didn't dismantle these worlds. It stabilized them. Edges softened, risk reduced, longevity extended. The objective wasn't novelty, it was continuity. Characters do not age, people do. That gap creates recursion. A story comforts at 5, nostalgia returns it at 25, tradition reinforces it at 45. This cycle generates revenue without urgency. Princess merchandise alone has exceeded $45 billion, not from cinema, from objects. Objects anchor memory to ownership. Disney does not rely on explosive success. It relies on persistence. A film is reissued, remastered, recontextualized, reintroduced. Time becomes an ally. Disney Plus closed the loop. No external distributors, no expiration anxiety. Stories no longer need discovery, they become default. When something becomes default, choice erodes gradually. The system doesn't announce itself, it surrounds, through repetition, through familiarity, through emotional reliability. Eventually, the structure becomes invisible. And when a structure becomes invisible long enough, it stops feeling constructed. It feels inherited. It feels like childhood.
Thanks for watching The Inner Margin. Like and subscribe.